Good morning, everybody. Want to thank you for being here. My name is Nathan Medina. I'm with Groundwork Center for Resilient Communities, and I'm happy to be speaking with you all today about 10 cents a meal, which is our state's incentive to get fresh fruits, vegetables, and legumes, Michigan grown, into the classroom and ECE setting. So you are all very key folks in the Genesee County area, and we want to thank you for being here with us this morning. I'm here with my colleague, Melanie Wong. Melanie, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Yep, I'm Melanie. I work primarily with ECEs, but I also touch schools and other sponsors of child nutrition programs. I'm a registered dietitian. I am glad to be here. And if you need anything, you can feel free to reach out to either me or Nathan.
Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone. I'm Sam Farah. I'm with the Crim Fitness Foundation, Nutrition and Food Systems Program Manager there, and just have been so thankful and excited about our partnership over the last couple of years with Groundwork and the opportunity to really expand the 10 cents a meal program here in Genesee County. So excited to have some of our local partners on so we can talk more.
Sam touched on this. We're really excited for our expansion in Genesee County. We've gone from 5 grantees last year to 12 in Genesee County this year, which is a great increase. We're very proud of that outreach that we've done and that the popularity of the program is gaining. So we want to make sure that as this process, the application window is still open, and we're looking to the department for information that it will be extended, but it's currently open until February 11th, and hopefully we'll go sometime into the 20th of February. So with that, we're going to jump into our presentation, giving you a little bit more information on 10 cents a meal. Let me pull up our presentation. Let's see, there we go. Can we see that, everyone? Okay, excellent. So good morning, Nathan Medina, and welcome to all of you here for our Genesee County learning session for 10 cents a meal. Let's see, how do I move forward? There we go. Hello, friends. Good morning. I'm here with you with Groundwork and Crim Fitness Foundation as well, being a key part and stakeholder in the Genesee County and Flint community for many, many decades now. So we're grateful to be partners with them. Okay. So you might be asking, what is 10 cents a meal? Who the heck am I and why did I invite you here? Well, 10 cents a meal is a competitive grant that matches 10 cents a meal nourishes Michigan's kids by expanding children's experiences with new and exciting flavors, introducing them to new items or different varieties of apples or salad bar fixings or anything else that might be grown locally here in Michigan. The program provides financial support to expand offerings for schools and ECEs and to improve meals while supporting Michigan farmers and strengthening local food systems. It also engages the community by offering an opportunity to collaborate with community members, parents, and educators, and local farmers, and all while helping children see their community reflected back to them, which is a key component of the MDE's, Michigan Department of Education's whole child education approach. 10 cents a meal is considered a win-win by legislators on all sides of the aisle. The legislature has grown this program from a $250,000 pilot program in 2 parts of the state, Northwest Michigan and West Michigan, in 2016 to a $5 million investment in the program statewide. And we want to make sure that all areas of the state are capitalizing on this. Particularly during the pandemic, legislatures were initially concerned about the need to slash budgets. So we weren't quite sure where 10 cents a meal would land. But as we've seen, the state budget is in the black, and we're very confident in the position of 10 cents a meal as we move forward. So what are the goals of 10 cents a meal? As this application process reopens, it's good to understand the goals. And you can see them right here. Number one is to improve daily nutrition and eating habits for Michigan children. And number two is to invest in Michigan ag and related food, local food businesses and the local ag economy. We do this by providing the financial support to eligible schools and organizations like childcare centers so that they have increased purchasing power. Food service directors say that it also gives them the flexibility to try new things. They've also found that the fresh flavors that local farms can provide, such as like varieties of different apples that aren't bland or mealy, like a Washington Red Delicious apple, actually results in kids eating more food and results in less waste, which is evident in the trash cans. Oops, we've got some people here. I'm going to admit them. And we'll move on to the next slides. Hi, everybody who's joining. Thank you. We are recording and we will try to make these slides available for everyone. So don't worry that we're a few slides in. Let's see here. Hopefully you can't see that. Let's see. Okay, so how it started. You can see this. We started in two sectors of the state and we've grown and grown and grown until we're finally statewide. Groundwork initially piloted the 10 cents meal program in Northwest Lower Michigan and beginning in 2013 with a focus on increasing local food purchasing. In 2016, the program transitioned to being a state pilot program. And since then, interest has grown dramatically. I think last year we had about 144 grantees, and this year we're at about 230 with the application window being reopened, and we're hoping to bump that anywhere from 250 or beyond. So stay tuned on that. As mentioned earlier, legislators see the value in investing in Michigan's ag sector for our kids' meals in schools, both on the supply and demand side. The program doubles the state's investment because it keeps matching federal matching dollars here in the state of Michigan, and it allows folks to engage with business and from farms of a wide variety of sizes. Oops, sorry about that. So eligibility. This is a great question. We get this question all the time. So who is eligible? Programs that serve meals and snacks that are reimbursable through child nutrition funds, such as USDA, are eligible to participate in the program. That includes National School Lunch, which most Michigan schools participate in, the Child and Adult Food Care Program, which funds ECE centers. Summer meals in schools and nonprofit organizations that nonprofit organizations provide are also included. And during COVID, it meant that schools were able to send boxes of produce home from families, which we saw right here in Flint. So how it works. The program provides up to 10 cents a meal in incentive funding to purchase Michigan grown fruits, vegetables, and legumes. It is a matching grant so that, for example, a $5,000 grant means that a district has committed to spending at least $10,000 on local food, produce, or dried beans. 10 cents a meal is an awesome resource for schools or other orgs participating in USDA nutrition programs to get financial support for farm to school work, like procuring local foods. So you've got this lovely little flow chart for how it works. You apply. For instance, the grant window is open now. So if you were to apply, you'd be doing that now. The application from MDE's side takes about 30 minutes if you've thought ahead. So that is great to hear. It's not very onerous or cumbersome, and you can reach out to any of us, whether Sam, myself, Melanie, or anybody at MDE if you have questions as it pertains to the application. You have to submit regular invoice data and participate in surveys, and then you're reimbursed up to 10 cents per meal for each meal or snack that is contained in local foods. And if anybody has questions as we go along, please feel free to ask them in the chat, and Melanie will field them as they come up. So I'll give you a second to read this chat. Why is 10 cents important, and why your work is important? And what we're trying to do here is introduce children to more variety. And 10 cents a meal nourishes Michigan's kids by expanding children's experiences with new flavors and engages the community, as we mentioned, building better habits for years and years to come. And that's the long-term goal of this program, not just an economic incentive for agriculture, but an incentive to better the nutrition and health of one another and our children as our greatest resource. So this is really fun. I really like this. And this is our interactive map. The interactive map includes these pinpoints and gives you information like the school and ECE name, the address, MSU Extension District, which is helpful if you have any questions from the MSU Extension side, or just the enrollment number of schools. So we found that this is a great tool for farms and other entities alike to sort of do some research on what is near them. So I'm going to click on this and we're going to play around on this interactive map. So let's go down the I-75 corridor and look at the Genesee County area. Let's see. So right here, we can see all of our grantees presently in the Genesee County area. Great to see all those little bullets when before we only had 5, we have 12 now. And as you can see, there's some extension into Shiawassee County, down the road here into Oakland County and beyond. So let's click right here. For instance, Michigan School of the Deaf and the Blind. It's got, well, there's no enrollment data right there, but we'll try another one. Let's see. Oops. Okay, no enrollment data, but Whaley's Children's Center. We're glad to have them in the program. We can do some more. City of Flint School District. We've got an enrollment of 3,000, which is great for people who are looking to either engage on the supply side or if there are questions on the demand side as well. So I will get back to the presentation, but feel free to look at all of the grantees across the state. There's a wide diversity of grantees in terms of just size. Some school districts are far bigger than others and some are smaller. But we are proud that this program can be tailored to the needs of any district of any size. Okay. So on our website, we have annual report findings that we make to the legislature, and we really glean some great information out of there. The potential for market expansion for Michigan's farmers and food processors and distributors is also evident. One distributor reported that 10 cents a meal spurred it in 2021 to contract with farmers for 50,000 pounds of broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots compared to just 5,000 pounds the year before. That distributor created a new product called the Michigan Medley to meet the increased demand for food for 10 cents a meal food service needs. Additionally, grantees from across the state reported that 10 cents a meal give them the opportunity to strengthen relationships with existing nearby farmers or local food suppliers, or to create new relationships. According to invoices, grantees purchased 63 fruits, vegetables, and legumes grown by 109 farmers in 40 counties and impacted an additional 39 businesses, such as distributors, processors, packers, and food hubs. And that information is primarily why I reached out to the chamber crowd and those folks on the economic development side, because there's really room for economic development growth in the food distribution and processing arenas. So we wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Another quote that we've got, the following quote is from a food service director about 10 cents a meal and how the food enables her to purchase from local farmers rather than from distributors shipping from anywhere across the country. So the kids are happier, the food is fresher, less carbon was burned in getting the product, and there's more accountability, as food chains and food systems have been faltering as a result of the pandemic. Having a supplier that's nearby is like a bird in the hand rather than one in the bush. So we're very grateful for that enhancement of security, food security as well, as a result of grantees being near their source of food. So where to find local food? You might not have engaged in local procurement before, and in Flint, you have some great resources. For ECEs in particular, their needs might be a little smaller than if like a school district, for instance. So Flint Farmers Market is a great resource for them. In addition, Flint Fresh Food Hub or food hub like Cherry Capital Food, which is located out of Traverse City, but has distribution centers all over the place, can be a good resource. And if you need more information, we're happy to link you up with them. Direct from farm purchases, you know, people might not think of Genesee County as being particularly rural, but we know that is not the case. You know, we know that driving down 69 or 75 or 23, we can see the wide variety of diversity in Genesee County, from urban to suburban to rural. So direct from farm is a reasonable way to procure for your food service. Online grocers like Market Wagon or grocery stores as well. Sometimes Meijer or Kroger identify which of their products are Michigan grown. And we are indeed working with them to make sure that more of their produce is labeled as such for reporting purposes. Resources to find local food. And again, we'll be sending out these slides for you, so you don't need to worry about taking down all the names right here, but MIFMA helps you find a farmer's market, which of course, Flint Farmer's Market's right there, but there are others scattered throughout Genesee County. Taste the Local Difference has a great local farms and food guide and can assist with institutional sales. And the MSU Extension Community Food Systems Educators are a great resource as well. Grant application resources are available on our website, 10centsmichigan.org. Feel free to click around. It's a great resource, tons of information. Clicking on this link, though, will send you right to where any grant application questions would be answered. Okay. We've also got some other resources, as you can see down below: frequently asked questions, grant overview, and application instructions. The grant overview. Oh, we've got, there we go, another person entering. Welcome to who just joined. We're just perusing through resources for 10 cents a meal right now, and we'll be sharing these slides. So you can use this resource to review the basics of the program, and we link to any of the above aforementioned frequently asked questions fact sheets. Oopsie, I lost my thing. Let's see. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, we've already gone through all these. Grant instructions, again, in-depth instructions on how to fill out the application. It's a walkthrough that's been updated to reflect 2022 grant cycle. Check out our website. Great stories on 10centsmichigan.org, including photographs and other detailed information, including tools for schools, tools for communities, farmers, or concerned citizens, which some of you may be. And you can keep up with 10 cents a meal on our Facebook page, which is very active, thanks to Melanie, our Twitter account, or our Instagram as well. Sorry, I've got a toddler home, sick from daycare, so that's what you hear running around in the background. And key contacts. This is really important as you gear up either to apply or to assist applicants or to engage with people who are already grantees. Technical assistance, Wendy Crowley with MDE, great resource for storytelling or general help. Or communications work. There's myself, Melanie, and our colleague Diane. Wave Diane. Dan is a key figure in 10 cents a meal's creation and the longevity and the exponential growth. So we are greatly proud to have Diane as part of our team, overseeing all of this. And our key contacts in Flint. You all know Samantha and Jared. He's doing a great job in Flint. He's the school garden coordinator, correct, Sam? Yeah, and we're very proud to have them embedded in the community and as an additional assistant in the quest of getting folks engaged with Farm to School and to answer any questions that they have. We know that Crim is a very trusted organization in the Flint community, and just walking around downtown Flint with Sam made me feel like I was with a dignitary because everybody knew Sam. So it's great to have her as a help. So we want you to save the date for our 10 cents a meal network meeting. You can register at this link, which we'll drop in the chat. This is where grantees and prospective grantees and farmers alike can come and just talk about their 10 cents a meal experience. We'll be sharing some great information at this from the procurement perspective of grantees from ECEs and schools and otherwise. So if you have any questions on how do I make this work in my school district? How do I make this work for my ECE? You might get some answers from some of your peers in that setting. So we encourage you to join. I think those are recorded as well, Melanie, right? Do we record our network meetings?
Yes, the network meetings are recorded.
Yeah, so that will be available as a resource on our website as well. And with that, I know I've breezed through a lot of slides and I've talked a lot, but I just want to say thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. If you have any perspective you would like to offer or encouragement to people who haven't yet applied, please feel free to do so. So we just want to open up the space now to give you a chance to ask any questions that you might have. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to step back for a minute, but please feel free to either engage with the chat or come off mute and feel free to ask. Thank you all so much. Melanie, is there anything that you would like to add from your perspective as an expert in ECE? Any trends that we're noticing or any concerns that might come up as people consider applying?
Yeah, I mean, I just have some general things. I think, sometimes food service directors may ask, like, why should I be doing this? Or thinking, I don't want to make additional work for myself. And to that, I just want to say that, the program as a whole, it provides that financial reimbursement, but what it really is aiming to do is to, yes, provide the money, the funding support and business to the farmers, but we really have a unique opportunity here to get money that supports the activities of Farm to School and introduce kids to different foods. And, that funding piece is really an important one, but it's not the whole thing. With 10 cents a meal, the marketing and education components of the program, encouraging children to engage with their food differently. It's different when you hear these stories about it of, I brought the asparagus into the kids because I thought that maybe they didn't know what that was like. And, what I imagine as a kid looking at a piece of asparagus and thinking, well, what is that? Because it looks pretty wild if you've never seen it before, especially like a white spear of asparagus. I don't even think I had a spear of white asparagus until I was maybe in my 20s. And so, it's things like my mom seeing a purple carrot and telling me that's not a carrot. And I think that for us to be able to introduce our kids to these things when they're really young, so that, when they're grown adults, they don't have that kind of reaction to food, is a really, really unique opportunity. I have always been an advocate for experiencing food differently because my own experiences of engaging with food, trying to grow food, volunteering at a greenhouse really was life transforming. And I think that, there is that opportunity to grab. And I know that, Flint Community Schools, for example, and their partnership with Food Corps and all of the great garden work that Jared is doing is just one example. And so, Flint Community Schools is a 10 cents a meal grantee and has, those gardening. So it's that blending of, showing food in a different way in all of these different facets that I think is a really cool opportunity. So while 10 cents a meal does provide the funds to help support getting that local food into schools, there's so much more to that. And, something cool that I do want to share is that we know that the Michigan Department of Education is working on like a pricing guide, like a wholesale pricing guide, so that school districts and others participating grantees of the program will be able to basically charge themselves for the produce that they're growing, and reimburse themselves for that food if it makes it into a reimbursable meal. So, the program is still growing. There's some growing pains, but I think that, I just want to remind everybody of those core parts of the program, providing that financial assistance, that without it, it would be much more difficult to explore those different kinds of varieties of foods and to, provide them in school meals. And then also this aspect of learning for our kids and seeing and allowing the kids to see themselves reflected in their community. It's a lot different when your apple farmer is down the road and you pass it every time you go to school and you know that your apples come from it, versus if they are, from out of state or even out of the country. So that's my little 2 cents on it.
Thank you, Melanie. And Sam, is there anything that you'd like to offer, just perspective you've seen as a result of, growth through the pandemic, or benefits that you've seen? Just any perspective you want to offer.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I think one of the really cool things is like through our SNAP Ed and food corps programs, kind of like the Melanie mentioned, we're already doing a lot of that introduction to these new foods. And what I really think is super great about the 10 cents a meal program is that it's not just like a one-time, here's a one-time exposure. It's a way to get those foods that we're introducing them to throughout the year and with our different nutrition and food corps programs, and really making that like a part of their regular school day, part of the meals that they get regularly. And it's a significant like cultural shift in an important and exciting way, because they, kids deserve that all the time. And so I think that that's just an exciting part of the program. And I don't know if anybody, I know there's current and maybe prospective grantees on, want to share their experience. I'd be really curious to know how things are going this year. If there's like, I put in the chat when you mentioned Cherry Capital Foods, Nathan, that I remembered last year when Flint Schools was doing their like sort of the distribution boxes to families, that there was a lot of foods that were sourced from Cherry Capital and from other sources. And so families were getting such a great variety of Michigan grown produce. And so I'd be curious sort of like how things are going this year, if there's any exciting things that folks have purchased or have included in their school meal programs this year. So I guess I'm just excited to hear from any other current grantees who have done some interesting work, or if what reactions from folks who are on who wanted to learn more, if you're excited about kind of some next steps here. I'll follow up with you guys anyhow, so.
Well, the goal of this was an introduction of ourselves, an introduction to the program. And we are grateful to make our acquaintance with you all. I know that we get 1,000 emails in our inbox, and I was grateful that you all took time to meet with us in this morning, just, to get more familiarity with the program and to reflect the good work that's going on in Genesee County. So we don't need to keep you any longer right now, but we want to encourage you to stay in touch and stay engaged. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Melanie, Sam, or myself, or Jared, and we will be in touch. So watch your inbox. We will share the recording and the slides with you. Feel free to disseminate them amongst the community as you see fit. And like we mentioned, most importantly, the application is still open through the month of February until the 20-something. So please encourage anybody who's interested to reach out and to apply, because the good news is there is so much money to go around that so long as they fill out their application correctly, it is highly likely that they will get a grant. So that is the great. And if they aren't able to spend all of their grant money, they are not punished in any way. The grant is really built to size for experience and for anybody who might be a little hesitant. We want to make sure that they're not intimidated by that. So we want to encourage you all to spread the word far and wide. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was a fun half hour.
Thanks all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.